things are looking bleak for Aston Martin as far as I'm concerned
And
because
a lot of
I'm
money
sure,
has gone. A lot of money has gone into
yeah,
it.
it's looking
Unfortunately.
bleak for these guys, man. This Honda's a very honor-driven Japanese team. I hope they're not just trying to screw F1 because of what happened with their driver Yuki, who didn't get promoted in Red Bull, so they do a U-turn on Red Bull, say F1, and even now they say, we don't give a shit. Let's just put half effort in because Lawrence Stroll is spending a lot of money.
Principally on that same kind of cultural level, I think they would be dedicated to sort of
Yeah,
putting out the best of what they could.
yeah.
And
I
if
think
they
that's why they U-turned from Red Bull though, because they felt insulted. But maybe now they're just having challenges, but they now have to focus with Aston Martin, but they're just admitting it's challenges. Yeah, what are your thoughts? Sorry, Lorenzo.
Yeah, no, but I think it's just that true admittance that they have to work a little bit harder on what they have thus far.
I hope so, man, because everybody's money is riding on Aston Martin, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, for sure.
We need Aston Martin to do well. We need to see Alonso fight for a championship, just like Lewis Hamilton will with Ferrari. Honda is saying that they're having problems, not problems, but great challenges with developing the hybrid engine for 2026. That could be worrying news for Aston Martin because Aston Martin is is banking on the fact that Honda has one of the most powerful units in motor sports. So Aston Martin has spent a lot of money, and if there's really big problems with that hybrid transfer, then all that money they spent is a waste. But I suspect that all teams are a little bit behind, and what Honda is doing is just sort of downplaying because they don't want high expectations just in case of failure. But I think, to be honest with you, if they're working on it now, and if Aston Martin is focusing to 2026, they're still going to be ahead of other teams which are focused on this year's championship drive.
I'm just saying, like, even after that, having what seemed to be like a good spell with Red Bull,
Yeah,
they seem to now be struggling in their new relationship with Aston Martin, which I think they would have thought was going to be kind of like a new adventure and a new chapter. But even from what we heard from Christian Horner's sort of opinion is that he trusts that they'll get it right because they've been able to deliver to
yeah,
Red Bull
yeah.
throughout the years, even in spite of whatever challenges that they might be dealing with. And I think it's okay that they're dealing with struggles this early on.
It's demoralizing. So my thing is, I wouldn't say
Yeah.
that unless it's a real concern, because I think, if it's just a challenge that every team, why would they come out and say that? Because that type of thing can affect stocks for Aston Martin. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, no, for sure. It could be sort of like detrimental to morale and all those
Yeah.
things quite correctly. But I think it was said in terms of like a technical conversation where someone was asked a question.
That should only be kept within the team. I don't think that you should be telling that to the public. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah. It'll be
They
like
were
Mike Tyson
giving,
training for a fight, and then his trainer comes out and says, "You know what? It's not really working, man. I'm worried." It just doesn't seem like it's the type of, if it's really true, that gives your enemy more confidence. Or if it's a lie, then maybe you're trying to make them confident.
I think it was just I think it was with Watanabe who said it, and I think he was just being honest about where they were
Yeah.
in terms of like them having
No, I
struggles
agree. But my
in
thing is, honesty is not a place
in
for sports, man. You got to keep these things quiet. To me, I wouldn't have come out in the public and do that unless they're just doing this in concert with everybody else just to get some news ratings. Yeah, continue. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there is also always that key aspect of thinking that they have to be a part of the conversation and they have to be part of the news
Hmm.
and they have to be contributing to the narrative. Um,
Hmm.
so that when they return from it and they come out with a stronger engine, it will be some kind of a surprise
Yeah.
that anyone was not betting on and all
Yeah.
those things. And
I hope they're not
yeah,
cheating this guy out of his money. I hope they're not cheating. What's his name out of his money?
so
Stroke. And because the
sure.
Japanese, we know how Honda is. Honda is a very honor-driven Japanese team. Even back in the days with Senna and Prost, they were backing Senna, and they take honor seriously. I hope they're not just trying to screw F1 because of what happened with their driver Yuki, who didn't get promoted in Red Bull. So they do a U-turn on Red Bull, say F1, and even now they say, we don't give a shit. Let's just put half effort in. Do you see what I'm saying, Lorato? Yeah.
Yeah, no, no,
Which
no.
would be
But
very unethical because Lawrence Stroll is spending a lot of money. But what I'm trying to say is that Honda tends to be a what's the word they use? Not Bushido, but they have a code which goes into Japan, and maybe they
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah. I
they
was
need
about to
revenge.
say, like,
They need revenge
yeah,
because
but
they feel dishonored. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I think also principally on that same kind of cultural level, I think they would be dedicated to sort of
Yeah,
putting out the best of what they could.
yeah.
And
I
if
think that's
they
why they U-turned from Red Bull though, because they felt insulted. But maybe now they're just having challenges, but they now have to focus with Aston Martin, but they're just admitting it's challenges. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Sorry, Lorato. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, no, no, no. But I think it's just that true admittance that they have to work a little bit harder on what they have thus far.
I hope so, man, because
Um,
everybody's money is riding on Aston Martin, man. Go ahead.
yeah, no, no, for sure.
We need Aston Martin to do well. We need to see Alonso fight for a championship, just like Lewis Hamilton will with Ferrari.
Basically, I've been following your thoughts. I feel
Yeah.
I don't know why Honda is a bit nervous about this
Yeah.
engine development because traditionally they've been a very powerful engine developer over the years, especially in the turbo engine era. So going into the hybrid era, I feel they should be one of the pioneers in delivering a very fast car engine. I feel one of their concerns
Well,
is
they've been.
that
They,
their lead
I,
engineer
do they have experience with electric engines and stuff like that? Do they have experience with it? Yeah.
not quite, but I mean at the
I think that's
different.
the problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a problem. So, and their
Yeah.
lead engine designer just retired. So I think that's a cause for concern. So it's a new challenge for them. But I feel they can rise up to the challenge. The main problem is the battery era, the increased reliance on battery, means that electrical energy now has to be optimized without sacrificing straight line speed, which is one area
Yeah.
that they really need to work on. The MGU units that they used to charge the batteries, the motor generator unit used to be an issue for them. And now that I think is going, they now have to balance power, electrical and internal combustion. So it's not going to
Yeah.
be for them. But I feel
And
they
not only
have
that, you have to integrate it with the rest of the car. We don't even know what the ride heights.
exactly,
We don't
exactly.
even know
And
what the
then
specs are
you
going to
have a
be.
new designer. So
Yeah.
everything has to be well choreographed to see that there's a seamless balance
To
between
me,
chassis
I think
and engine.
things are looking bleak for Aston Martin as far as I'm concerned because
And a lot of
I'm
money has
seeing.
gone. A lot of money has gone into this.
Yeah, it's looking
Unfortunately,
bleak for these guys, man. I'm telling you because there's so much unknown territory because of the FIA, which is so corrupt. We don't even know. I don't even think the teams even know what all the specs will be because when FIA keeps changing things and they
yeah.
develop it as it goes along. Even the ground effects era it was day by day evolving the rules. They should have They should have had these set rules a year and a half ago and not change them at all, so that teams could be ready to prepare for it. That's
No,
what I think. What do you think
but
of
Okay,
Ferrari?
the other
and
engine
Never go to.
designers, Ford and the GM, I believe they don't have as much design expertise as Honda, especially in
Oh
F1
yeah, yeah.
engine. So I feel that could
I think
give
a
them
lot
a
of it's
little
gonna
bit of
different teams will have
advantage.
different feel too. The feel is gonna be is important too. And what were you gonna say, Lorato? Yeah.
yeah, and I'm saying it's very difficult thinking about how the FIA is sort of delaying setting regulations in stone, whilst for Aston, like you're saying, it being very difficult. Adrian Newey's tools have been kept at Red Bull up until next month, I think. So whatever work he's doing now, he's doing without his tools, because he
Yeah.
can't start work officially until March.
Ridiculous,
So
man.
that also gives him a small amount of time.
I'm telling you, man.
But I think, yeah,
Zach
yeah,
Brown
yeah.
is playing
I
golf
think, I
with
mean, what?
Sulayem. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. I got his name right
Yeah,
today. Go ahead. No, go ahead,
yeah, no,
Lorato.
for
Sorry.
yeah, for sure. It's interesting that you bring that up, because I think from what I've also been seeing in terms of Formula E is that McLaren really has a good electric engine
Yeah.
that's very competitive.
So we'll see what
So
happens
it's
because you might be seeing the
yeah,
Lando Norris. winning in 2026 also. These guys, and we know that this is how bad it is because we know that this French guy, when he was the head of the Formula One, I think, or FIA, he wanted Prost to win. So he made all kinds of rules. Like they stopped the race in the middle of the rain when Prost was winning and Senna was catching up. Then the next year they wanted to end the race so that Senna could win. They switched the other way and to keep the race going longer. So this is the problem of transparency which we can use this to pivot that George Russell talks about.